I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different, and every breakup is different. Work with me, and you'll get professional help on your situation. Just click on the link in the description below, or go to my website, askcraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about my personal issues turned my partner off.
Oh, okay.
Well, the reality is we're not always going to be at our best.
Not always.
Especially over the long haul.
Right.
If you're dating somebody for years, you can't maintain being your best at all times. You're going to have times where you're sick, you're not feeling well, you're stressed out. You know, you're upset about work or friends or family, whatever it is. Your mental health is going to struggle at times.
Yes.
Depending upon where you are and your makeup, right?
Yeah. I mean, health happens, family losses happen, all kinds of things happen.
Absolutely.
In a normal lifetime.
And, you know, if a struggle goes on long enough, it can really affect a relationship.
Yes, it can.
Right? If you have an issue that keeps coming up over and over again, it can really affect things.
Yes.
And it could make your partner not want to be with you anymore. That's just the reality. Right. Maybe they got tired of you always losing your job or a certain behavior.
Or always being sick. Some people can handle that fine, and other people simply cannot.
Yeah. Right. Not everybody functions at the same level.
No.
And if your level is vastly different than your partner's, a lot of times one of you or both of you can't tolerate each other.
Right.
So, personal issues can really turn a partner off. And you might be sitting there thinking, well, my ex told me not to do this 50,000 times and I didn't listen, and now I just want one more chance.
Yes. That happens.
That happens a lot.
We've seen it, yes.
I didn't know it was so serious.
I didn't pay attention.
Now.
I thought it was just annoying. I didn't know it was a big deal. I've heard that one.
It's really frustrating. And sometimes you do get another chance. Sometimes you do get another opportunity. It just depends upon your situation, because every situation is so incredibly different.
Different, yes.
Or different, yes.
Yes.
And you'll see that in today's video, because this guy, he's in his early 30s, and he dated a woman a little bit younger, in their mid-20s, for about 4 years.
That's a long time.
Mm-hmm. And they lived together for a few years, and they had one breakup, or one break, and we nearly broke up due to him suffering with depression. He said we would meet up and have fun and date on the weekend. After a while, we moved back in together, but my health deteriorated again.
He has some major problems.
Which we're going to get into in a minute.
Yeah.
Now, when he was talking about her, he mentioned that her parents got divorced when she was younger, and they did not keep things civil for most of it, so must have been rough.
Yeah.
Her mom was in a relationship with someone who suffered depression.
Yes. Things have a way of repeating themselves.
They certainly do.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to say here is that she probably was attracted to him because he had these issues with depression, and she was used to it. It felt familiar.
She would, yes. And because we've got to remember, I had someone say this back to me the other day, and I was very excited. We're drawn to the familiar, whether or not it's what we want.
Mm-hmm. So he said things hadn't been right for a while, arguing a lot. I am suffering with illnesses such as Crohn's, arthritis, depression, and anxiety. I also lost 3 close family members in the last few years.
Wow.
That's a lot to deal with.
Little wonder he's depressed.
Little wonder, and anxious. But, you know, if your partner has a major illness, it can be a lot to take on.
Yes, and he does have some major illnesses. Arthritis is serious in a 30-year-old. I mean, we all get arthritis as we get older, but if you're 30 and you're struggling with arthritis, it must be a pretty heavy-duty form of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think just one of those could be rough on relationship.
It
You know,
certainly
Crohn's, arthritis, depression, and anxiety, any one of them by itself
Yes.
could have been too much.
Right.
But all four, that's really gonna
It's really hard.
make a tough time for your partner and you to have fun together
Yes.
and build a connection.
Have children together.
Exactly.
You have to think about it. Yeah.
That's a lot. He said, I changed from being a fun, confident person to a shell of who I was.
Oh.
And you have to be responsible for your own mental health. And you can't just use your partner as a crutch if you're
No.
struggling. Get help with anxiety or depression or your other issues.
And medications these days are so good. Anxiety and depression can be handled many times better than they could be in the past, even 10 years ago. So something probably could be done about that.
Okay, so he goes on to say, we argued on a Friday or a Thursday. I left to go to my parents. We didn't speak for 2 days. On that Saturday, I sent her the following text. Just checking that you're okay. I love you and I want to see you. I got no answer.
Yeah.
She is thinking, oh my gosh, I cannot do this. This is too much.
Yes, this is too much.
She had to really sit with it a little bit more. Sunday, she phoned me. I knew straight away that this was going to happen. She started crying, saying she couldn't do this anymore. That she still loved me, but things haven't been right for a while. I was emotional. We both were. I said to her, I understand why she wants to break up. I didn't beg or try to convince her to change her mind.
Well, it hasn't been stated, has it?
What?
He understood why she wants to break up.
No.
Right.
He just understood that she did want to, not
Okay.
why,
Not
why
why
she
she
wanted
okay.
to. Yeah. Or he did. He said why, but she didn't explain, or he didn't explain it well in this.
No.
We were a little
Okay.
bit like something's missing here. We spoke for about 30 minutes, arranging the logistics of me moving my stuff out. She said she wanted to be friends. I explained to her that I was not interested in being friends. I'm only interested in being romantic or nothing at all. Then ended the phone call. It really hurt me that she was ending it over the phone. She said she would have been able to break up with me in person, or that she wouldn't been able to in person. I think she would have. She probably just was saying that
Yeah.
because it was a hard thing.
It
but
was hard.
that wasn't going to keep her to you.
No.
Like if you were around her 24/7, that she
She'd
wasn't
still-
going to break.
she'd still break up
The
with
breakup
her.
was still coming.
Yeah.
Went to move my stuff out Saturday. I went in first and we ended up having a 20-minute chat. She handed me a letter and asked me not to read it while I was there. I put it in my pocket. She was upset and crying. I managed to keep myself together. I had bought new clothes and made sure I looked good and acted positive, even if I did not feel it inside. She commented on how I already looked better and she's happy I understand why it had to end. She then got frustrated that only now I was starting to sort myself out. Like I said, you guys always need to do your best to, work on your mental health in a relationship.
Yes.
You get stagnant and you expect your partner to stay, it's not going to happen.
And she's saying, now I'm ready to leave you, and you're starting to get it together.
Yeah. Working on yourself, mental health should always be a priority
Yes.
in your life.
Yes.
Continuing to grow, understanding yourself, understanding your partner, that's all a very important part of life. You're not going to get your ex back and keep them if you don't.
That's right. And we see it over and over again. So she was saying, yeah, now you do it.
We both acknowledged that we wish it had turned out differently. I walked her to her car, she was crying, and I gave her a hug, opened the door for her. She said, I love you, but the words caught in her mouth and she couldn't say them. So I guess she didn't say them. He said she said them, but...
Yeah. It was hard.
Yeah. I looked her in the eyes and said that I loved her too. I don't have it in me to be angry at her. She had written a 2-page letter for me. It was beautiful. She referenced a current song saying, hoping that one day we will see each other and laugh about these days. At the end of the letter, she said, I promise, if you do, that in the future, after some space and time, if one of us wants to reach out and it feels right, that we will do so. I posted a note in reply. Thank you for your note. It was amazing. I have made my feelings clear. You know what I want. If you want to meet up and go do something fun, let me know. Make yourself happy. I will be focusing on making myself happy too. Don't cry because it's over. Smile it because it happened. Every time I hear that song, I will smile and remember the good times we had. I promise too. Was this a mistake? I'm not really sure what he means by that.
Now, by what was a mistake? The breakup?
No, the promise too.
Ah,
Maybe promising her?
yeah.
It was a little bit confusing, but...
It was an attempt to leave the door open, I think.
Well, I like the fact that he said, contact me and we'll get together. That I thought was good.
I do too.
Since then, we've been in no contact. 2 weeks have passed.
It already sounds and feels like a year at least, and it's only, what?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, well, 2 hours feels like an eternity in a breakup.
Sure.
Okay, he says, because we left it open for who contacts who. Should I contact her when I feel I'm ready? This will be a few months, or do I wait for her to contact me? Okay, Margaret, what are your thoughts?
I think he should, well, she's essentially the one who did the breaking up.
Yeah,
I think he should give her the space to contact him.
I agree.
And he should let her know that he's okay and that he can get along and that he'll be okay without her. And that may be a message she needs to get.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that she obviously cared about you, and you know, the fact that she wrote him that letter does indicate that she really cares about
Yes,
him.
it sounds like it to me.
Because that doesn't happen very often.
No.
Not when the person breaks up with you. They don't often give you a letter.
Right.
So I think she cares, and so he's got to keep working on himself, working on his personal growth, his own mental health. Obviously he has illnesses, and maybe he can start to figure out some ways to manage them a little bit better.
You know, and illnesses people can understand. They're concrete. You have a treatment plan for them. Very difficult to live with depression and anxiety, where the treatment is less well understood, and it didn't sound like he had any treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do think that he should wait for her to reach out when she's ready. I think she will in this situation. There's no doubt that she really cares about him, and if she gets to that point where she thinks she could date you again, I think she'll do it.
I think he did her I think he did himself a favor, all of them a favor, by looking so good. And she said in British, I think it is, you're starting to sort yourself out.
Yeah.
That must be straightening yourself out.
Yeah, and it made her a little unhappy because she's like, why couldn't you do this while we were together?
I could hear that, yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so tough situation, but
Yes.
hopefully he continues to work
I
on
hope
himself.
he does.
And when she revisits the idea, maybe
And
he
she
can turn it
will,
around.
and she will, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. The more he does, the better off he's going to be.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so if you want to get my help personally, just go to the website, askcraig.net, sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. You can get email coaching or Skype coaching. Margaret is also available for Skype coaching.
I'm available. Please sign up.
Make sure you sign up with her. Just click on Margaret on the top of the website. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon.
Hi, I'm Coach Margaret, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist with 35 years experience. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. If you would like professional help with your situation, please contact us at askcraig.net.